Hi, I'm Rich Torrey, and welcome to another Level Up Cartooning. All you need to ever follow along with me is a pencil and paper. It doesn't get any easier than that, right? So today we're going to do another lesson that involves drawing a cool, creepy Halloweenish scene. A scene that tells a story, or at the very least conjures up a spooky Halloween vibe. Last time we drew our little pumpkin spirit riding in a sleigh pulled by bats. Today we're going to draw a scene that conjures up the feeling of fear. We're going to draw a few trick-or-treaters and a little something they encounter along the way in their night of trick-or-treating. A little Halloween night nightmare, if you will. This one is inspired by the dark and macabre illustrations of Danish illustrator John Ken Mortensen. I encourage you to look him up. Once again, we're also going to touch on what I call page management. In other words, how best to lay out a drawing so as to use the space on the page in a pleasing way. I think you're going to really have fun with this one. Before we get started, make sure you hit that thumbs up and the subscribe button as it helps this channel to grow, and hit the bell so you never miss a lesson. All right, so let's draw our Halloween night nightmare. As with the last lesson, we're going to use the level up cartooning process to create our little Halloween scene. That means we aren't going to start with one of the character's eyeballs and hope everything we want to draw somehow fits on the paper. That's not going to work well, especially with 3 subjects in the drawing. Nope, we're going to think it through and plan it out. Starting with a roadmap. In this step, we're going to lightly sketch out where everything will go. Remember, the focus of all my lessons is the drawing process, so we're not going to color anything here. You just need a pencil. As I pointed out in the last video, you'll see me use 2 different colored pencils during this and most of my videos. I do that simply to separate the steps in the level up cartooning process. That's the only reason I do that. Before we start, I want to encourage you to put your own spin on this. Maybe you want more than 2 trick-or-treaters hiding, or maybe they're wearing some other costume, and you might want a different monster stalking them. By all means, change it in any way you like. That's what makes this so much fun. Okay, so let's start with a roadmap for our Halloween night nightmare scene. So there's a roadmap for a little Halloween night nightmare. Now we're on to step 2. In this step, we do what I call roughing out the features. I want to remind you that until the 3rd and final step, you want to draw as light as possible. You'll see that I use guidelines to help me to know where to put the character's eyes and some of the other things. We don't want those guidelines in the final drawing. So you want to draw them light enough to be able to erase them easily. So let's rough out the features for our Halloween night nightmare scene. Okay, so there are the roughed out features for our Halloween Night Nightmare. So now with the roadmap done and the features roughed out, it's time for the final step. This is where we get to have fun. We get to draw in the final details of our Halloween Night Nightmare. We don't have to guess where to put things because we've already done all the hard work to figure that out. In this step, it's okay to draw darker, but don't press too hard or mindlessly retrace over the lines you've already drawn. Always draw with an eye on tweaking and improving until the very end. One last thing. When drawing the fur on this creature, you'll notice I don't draw random lines all over its body. I group 4 or 5 lines together to form a little tuft or clump of fur, then do the same type of thing next to it, above it, and below it, over and over again. It's something that, while not difficult, it takes practice. Even more, it takes a lot of patience. In other words, do not be in a hurry. If you have to, take a break every now and then. I just wanted to point that out. Give it a try. So let's draw on the details for our Halloween Night Nightmare. Alrighty, there it is, our little Halloween Night Nightmare scene. So how do you think you did? Understand, if you've never drawn something like this before, you cannot expect to have drawn it perfectly. The important thing here is that you focus on the fun you had creating it. You notice I don't spend time coloring these scenes during this video because I want my lessons to focus solely on the drawing process. Now you have the secret formula, the process for drawing this Halloween Night Nightmare scene. Hopefully you also learned a little bit about the importance of planning out your drawing. In other words, page management. For those of you who want to learn more, click on the link below for my free 4-part drawing series, where I spend more time explaining the details and the thinking behind each step and what I call the level up cartooning process. So now I'd love to see your Halloween Night Nightmare. If you can, take a picture and post it on either Facebook or Instagram, and don't forget to include the hashtag #LevelUpCartooning. I hope you had as much fun as I did with this one. Remember to subscribe, and thanks for joining me. Until next time, keep drawing, my friends.